Alright, that's working. Let me turn up. Hey Ryan. So I think New York just opened up. Yes, there will be a New York live stream. Just running a little bit late and also, to be honest, exhausted for the day. I'd say it's been a long week. Lots of streaming, lots of trading, and also a very profitable week if we take a quick look at my bento book here. Can't really complain about this trading week. Let's go back. That's the entire period of my funded account so far. I'm pretty happy with that. I do not want to break the winning streak, to be really honest, and has been one of the second most profitable week. But we've been getting in some awesome consistency. All of these trades have been streamed live and recorded. So yeah, other than this week I lost it a little bit, especially on Monday. I'm not sure what happened there. But yeah, usually on Friday I tend to mess up my week, and I don't want to do that this week. So for me today, being up $170 on my funded account, it's gonna be mainly paper trading today, doing some tape reading, answering some questions. So for that, let's just go to paper trading Apex 50K and reset that account. Alright, so during the London live stream earlier this morning, I can actually show doesn't matter. I tried to go long of this bullish volume imbalance, and once we hit Asia buy side, I moved my stop to break even right here. We just consolidated time distortion for two 15-minute candles until at 3:30 we got our second 15-minute candle between 3 and 4 a.m. And we saw the expansion to the upside. So unfortunately, without me, the expansion moved to the upside. We kept watching it, me and Volker, going up higher. We hit the 1 hour bearish fair value gap low. We keep going higher and higher, and then we drew out this 5-minute bearish fair value gap and the buy side liquidity right here above this high. And this is also this area right here from this high to this high is also a 1 hour, the highest 1 hour bearish fair value gap that we hit. And so from this area, we were already looking for shorts. I got in on the 1 minute market structure shift right here. I think I shared that in the Discord earlier. General chat. Yeah, right here, got in on the 1 minute, secured after 5 points. So right here, I took a break even, and here I took a $50, now $37, $40 loss, and then made a nice profit. Nice 2022 setup, closed below the low eventually. Right here, I already front run that, being a little bit impatient, also because it was towards the end of the kill zone, and I wanted to position myself. We consolidate for a little while, retest the breaker block paired with the inversion fair value gap after closing below that and below the breaker block, paired with a volume imbalance. This could have been a nice re-entry. It's Friday, I'm always more careful on Friday because I don't want to enter into the weekend with knowing that I messed up my fun, not messed up, but well, that I messed up the efforts that I have put in from Monday over to Thursday, and I don't want to mess it up on Friday. I hate that. So, one contract, 5 points, done deal. Also 50% of the daily range. Afterwards, we fooled around or played around for a little while, but let's actually take that to our real chart. We've been following this closed below. We kept holding resistance in this bearish value gap. Continued lower, lower, lower. Volume imbalance below the midnight. Retest the midnight level. Run into Asia sell side. This could have been a potential scalp. 2.5 points. And from here on, we basically just used the lowest bearish value gap here to continue lower through Asia sell side, similar to what I tried yesterday, going short here. Lowest bearish value gap, continuation into previous day's low. Let me actually get rid of some drawings. There we go. So we have a high of the day buy side liquidity. Also, what I want to point out, if we go to the 15-minute time frame, could still argue that we just filled the breaker block on the 15-minute time frame here, or maybe even the 1 hour. 1 hour, that's the bearish fair value gap I was talking about. We hit that and we rejected very strongly. The DXY has been on a run so far this entire day. We tried to look for a long after we saw the confirmed market structure shift below the Asia session low, but this obviously didn't play out. We have SMT divergence at the highs because the DXY took out the Asia session low, and we would anticipate that EU is taking out the Asia session high therefore. Didn't happen, so that's bearish SMT divergence. We saw it move away very quickly from that level, took out these equal highs, consolidated and continued even higher, forming a new high of the week. And we just took that high of the week buy side liquidity, and now we're hesitating a little bit, but that's to be anticipated. Alright, now heading over to our index comparison. So if you haven't been around for the London live stream, we've been talking about this power hour setup on ES that managed to run all the way up into the high of the day at 8:30 right here. We saw that on ES last 30 minutes of the power hour from 3 to 4 p.m. New York local time. Saw that huge 30-point run into buy side liquidity, while on NQ we didn't really see that, like right here. We fell short of it at the 50% level. And then Asia consolidation. During the London live stream, we've been marking out this 2022 model right here. We sweep the Asia session low, or the low of the day. We immediately displace with the London Open, and that's really what we can consider it to be a displacement. Close above that highest bullish candle. Boom. Hold support on the breaker plus bullish value gap. We have the midnight level to support price here, and we continue to run Asia buy side, partial. Next buy side target right here. PM session high, partial, and the next easiest drawn liquidity in terms of buy side or short-term high right here at 1600. Big figure level as well, and we resisted from that perfectly and started to drop lower, back below our low of the day. Right now we saw a bigger drop on NQ than we saw on ES. Relatively speaking, ES is still holding up much stronger, but yeah, we start to see the divergence between them with this last pump to the upside. ES basically, to put it into perspective, ES took this buy side liquidity yesterday during the PM session with a run up into this area. Then it consolidated during Asia here, continued to run even higher, taking out, hang on, this high right here, consolidated, ran out this high and reversed, and now relatively speaking it's just below that low somewhere here, and we see that it looks very similar. Asia consolidation, pump to the upside, dump down, but yeah, yes, just doing that a little bit up higher. That's why we might see NQ to take out the previous day's low, and ES might not reach that. Also keep in mind, good morning guys, also keep in mind that we have news on the calendar today. And also power speaking, at 11 a.m. I don't like when power speaks. Let's check that out actually in a fireside chat. So like a debate where they argue about the economy basically in a roundtable discussion at Spelman College in Atlanta at 2 p.m. So we have a AM session. Powell is on fire today. So first, in a fireside chat, navigating pathways to economic mobility at Spelman College. So first a fireside chat, and then 4 hours after that, he's participating in a roundtable discussion also at the Spelman College in Atlanta. Spelman College? Yeah. And of course at 10 a.m. the ISM manufacturing PMI. So watch out for that. Friday, 1st of December, the first daily candle inside the new month. We already looked at it on the monthly time frame earlier during the London stream. We had the most bullish monthly candle this entire year on ES and also on NQ. Let's get rid of these drawings here quickly and go to a higher time frame. Potential market structure shift here on ES. But take that with caution. 10 a.m. news in 20 minutes. Of course, this could be the setup that they're going to use to push price even higher and take out the high of the week here on ES. We did retrace. No, we did not hit the... did we? No, we didn't hit the 50% of yesterday's range. But measured from the low of the week to the high of the week, right here. That's our weekly range. Right now, we're below the 50%. Let's actually check out the 1 hour time frame side by side. Holding support on that highest 1 hour bullish fair value gap. And that's where we really start to see the difference between ES and NQ if I hide the indicator and hide all the drawings. So Monday, that's Friday, so weekly open. We run higher, follow the cursor on NQ as I'm talking about this, we go higher. Consolidate a little bit, also here on NQ. Then we form a lower low on ES with SMT divergence because NQ formed a higher low. Push to the upside. And on NQ we actually took out this buy side liquidity here on Tuesday on ES. That didn't happen. It happened on Wednesday or Tuesday night according to New York local time. Then we had this pump, that's all matching up. The dump to the downside, the retracement right here. And then yesterday, the final capitulation to the low of week on both charts. Even to the previous week's low. No, not, yeah, below the previous week's low, I think. No, previous week's low would be all the way here. But we can see the main difference for me is that ES had that push to the upside back again above this high, while NQ did not. NQ is looking much weaker compared to ES right now, looking at the hourly time frame. So what do we do with this information? Well, does it mean that ES is leading, or is NQ leading and ES is just not there yet and we're gonna continue lower? That's the big question, the big if. Let's check it out on a 5-minute time frame. Look at our volume profile. Volume profile coming in right here at the low. So let's take a look at this price action here, and also turn on the 8:30 opening. and the regular trading hours opening gap. That's our regular trading hours opening gap from yesterday's New York close right here. And this is our bullish market structure shift. What's the time? It's 9:45, so this is a new 15-minute candle. We also have a 15-minute time frame market structure shift. Short-term low cleared. Look at the 50% of the entire daily range. We always do that. It's coming in right at the midnight level. Our opening gap almost has been filled in completely. We have buy side above each short-term high right here. Low of day, we put that to the right. And high of day. Mm, 50%, we are aware of that. The regular trading hours opening gap. Don't need to see that on the chart right now. We just know it's there, and we know the high is roughly at the midnight level. That's all we need to know. We have our market structure shift. In terms of a breaker block, I would be using the 15-minute because I want to look at the highest up closing candle. Yeah, that matches up perfectly with the 5-minute, almost perfectly. But I'm gonna use the 15-minute breaker block here. Breaker block, 15-minute. So let's see, I want to see it push through the inefficiencies, the bearish ones, if we want to continue higher to the upside. Bearish fair value gap. Bearish fair value gap. Two to one risk reward, something like that. We don't have a fair value gap yet to enter. I only entered on based on the breaker block. Keep in mind, news at 10 a.m. and then at 11 a.m. we have power speaking. And really, by looking at a relatively low time frame, 11 a.m. that's when power is speaking, and 10 a.m. is when we get the news. I mean, what could possibly happen within this time? Lots of chop until after news, maybe. So be aware of that. I'm gonna mark it out so we don't forget and we don't get, oh, I don't end up missing the news. Back to the VWAP. Those are our two news events, and then we have him speaking again at 2 p.m. But at that time I'm already in weekend mode. Don't care about what ES is doing, what any of the charts are doing. We had a good week. Being at it every day, catching nice moves every day. Can't really complain. 15-minute time frame, 5-minute time frame. Looking like a nice V-shaped recovery here on NQ. 1-minute time frame. Yeah, the V is really visible here. doesn't mean it's gonna work out. Especially with news coming in and the DXY continuing its rally. We can really see that switch or that change in the state of delivery also on the indices. So right here we saw the DXY hit the 61.8 retracement level of this entire move to the upside, filled that lowest bullish value gap that we marked out on our chart with inside the monthly or weekly VIP outlook. We filled that. We disrespected that inversion fair value gap right here. So now it's an inversion fair value gap. We're about to leave behind a bullish one. Another inversion fair value gap here. So for the DXY, if it wants to continue its run, buy side liquidity above here at 103.843. And then up here. And the short-term high at 104. We have this inversion fair value gap that we have used as resistance before. And now if we take a look at our indices on a daily time frame. Now let's do the 4-hour, 1-hour time frame. Where really it's hard to call anything inside this range a valid change in the state of delivery. Be too easy to draw a box around this, and box means consolidation. I mean, that's pretty clear if we see what's happening on the weekly, on the daily. So even though the DXY is pushing back up, don't really see a massive move to the downside on our indices. They're holding up relatively strong, at least ES, we can see that. Yesterday's daily candle was a down closing candle on NQ and a bullish candle on ES. Doesn't have to mean much, but it could. If we take a look at the DXY, when it really started to dump, right here, 2nd of November, 1st of November, Wednesday, Thursday, new day opening gap, that SMT divergence with EU. Let's take a look at the 2nd of November here. That's when we really started to take off. The low came in on the 27th, right here. That's when the indices started to rally. And a couple of days later, the DXY started to dump. Let's go back to our trade. Alright, so here we have a bullish value gap that has already been filled. Sorry guys, I've been talking about the DXY, but if you've been watching me for a while, well, we're already in a position. I'm not going to risk more on this one. Bullish value gap. Those two lines are irritating me. And this as well. But we already filled in the entire inefficiency to the tick. Bounced off a potential order block, this down closing candle that swept equal lows. Immediately moved away from it. Displacement. Market structure shift. Breaker block. Bullish value gap. What else do we need? Like I said, the only thing that could go against us is PMI news at 10 AM. But we get our setup at the low of the day, below Asia sell side. We swept the low of the day right here one last time, and then at 9:30 one more time. So we could even call this a last sweep. Let's see if we have any questions. Yeah, I can imagine. Dollar index. Yeah, dollar is pushing. I can't hear you, Agent Smith, otherwise the people on YouTube would hear you too. I'm trying to focus for the beginning of the stream and then we can have a fireside chat. Nice pin bar reaction of our bullish value gap. Nice close above the, what's this, where's this level coming from? From the daily opening right here. We now pushed above. It's 9:55, so 5 minutes before news. DXY keeps on pushing higher. Let's compare both our indices again on a little bit lower time frame. By the way, this is me executing on my paper trading account. In case you're wondering. I wouldn't do that before news. I like the setup. We're trying it right now with the paper trade. I'm up more than $1,000 on my funded account this week. If you just joined in, I'm content for this week. I don't care if this trade plays out. News would be too risky for me. 10 p.m. PMI news. It's really unnecessary, of course. We always take a risk if we enter a trade, but I think I've taken enough risks today. Ending up with $170 in profit. That's almost my daily profit target. So that's why I'm executing on a paper trading account. But if I wouldn't tell you, you wouldn't know, and you'd be thinking, oh, I'm making money. At least for the YouTube viewers, because they have the banner in the bottom part of the video. Everyone else would see paper trading. And what some people do, or some live streamers, they put that little toolbar above their paper trading and they say, oh yeah, they're trading with their Apex account or with their funded account. Why they're really not doing that? So if you're also watching other streamers, always pay attention. If they execute on TradingView, once they go over their position, if you see this green and yellow at stop loss, at take profit. If you see that, paper trade. Nothing wrong about paper trading, but at least say that you're paper trading. So let's look for a target, 487.75, 10 points. One and a half minutes until news. Let's go. 100K funded, right? Yeah. Based on percentages and not numbers, I beat you this week. I'm up 2.2% this week, and you're up 1.5%. Take that. Haha. Not just kidding. 40 seconds until news. Afterwards, we have power speaking at 11. DXY still pushing. EU still dropping. 30 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, take off. Pretty volatile. Huge wick to the upside. Let's take a look at NQ. Not as much volatility as of right now. DXY starting to reject here. EU starting to pump. Let's see from our fair value gap entry, assuming that we would have taken a live trade, that would have happened on the fair value gap right here. 5-point target would have been hit, quick 5 points. Maximum 7 points and 3/4 so far. 10 points would be just at the previous day's high. And this just goes to show that news are, well, if we continue into the high of the day, that if a setup exists before news, they use the setup because volume is already trapped down here. They already prepared their positions before the news release, and then they just, I don't know the exact mechanism behind it, but we get the idea. So let's see how this candle is going to close. We keep on pushing. Above all our bearish fair value gaps. Now we're targeting this high. Let's see if we take that out. Yep, that's cleared. We hit our first partial. Yep. Move my stop to break even. Get rid of this other stop. And sell the other contract right here. Actually, let's move it and profit a little bit to midnight level. NQ is now also pushing. DXY started to retrace and EU started to reverse back up based on DXY rejecting here at the high of the week. If we drop the DXY to the 5 and 15 minute. Took out the high of the week and boom. So we see this move to the upside and likely move to the upside also on the indices. Yeah, it's no challenge, it's no game. If you consistently compare yourself with, or if you consistently compare your PL with someone else's PL, like, yeah. That's not the best thing to do. Different account sizes, blah, blah, blah. Dangerous. Just focus on yourself. Best thing you can do. 1 more minute to go. News candle is going to close. VIP members or anyone watching in the Discord live stream. Ryan, Koch, Agent Smith, Fady, 5-handed Vulture. Did you take the trade before the news? And also YouTube community. Did you end up taking this trade ahead of the news? The 2022 setup? Very clean delivery, like filled the fair value gap to the tick immediately, followed by a pin bar candle. Let's see where we're going to close. Take a look at our NQ chart. So this would be a inversion fair value gap that we could be looking at. That's if we take a look at the 1 minute time frame, we do not have any inefficiencies here. Consolidated, news came in. Clean. Clean, clean, clean. Let's see how that develops. Fair enough, that's all good. Take it slow. Plus I hit my daily goal. Same for me. I didn't exactly hit my $250 target, but well, I hit my weekly target, $1,000 per week max on the funded account for a 50k account with my 0.25% risk per trade, $125 on that 50k account, so I have room to breathe in case I ever end up in a losing streak. 0.25%, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 RR collected this week. That's not bad. Rather end the week on a high note instead of course, there's always the opportunity that a new setup plays out. That's why we took it on a paper trade, and then it's really about quoting Agent Smith here, the joy of missing out, like being able to sit here willingly taking a paper trade instead of force. I really didn't feel comfortable taking another live trade this week, and I knew that before I started the stream, and I made the decision that I'm not going to take another live trade today anymore, and I'm happy with that. With 10 a.m. news and 11 a.m. power speaking, I traded during the London session, and I caught a nice short here from the 2022 model, and let's assume we would have seen a wick to the downside here, which would have hit our stop loss before we continue up. Well, then I would be sitting here trading my funded account in drawdown and be like, not so cool. Or I'd say less favorable than sitting here simply executing on our paper. On the other side, some people couldn't deal with the fact that they missed out on making $400, $500, but I can. So that didn't happen. Let's get rid of that. Still nice to see that even though we had PMI news, we respected the 2022 setup to the tick here with the fair value gap and the breaker block. Bodies holding above the VWAP, continuation higher. Let's see. I'm right in front of my mic. I can't increase that manually here. No, it's on full power. So try to push it up to like full volume on YouTube. Trying to talk a little bit louder. Looks like seek and destroy condition today. Yeah, but big range seek and destroy condition. I mean, if we zoom out, this entire week could be summed up as seek and destroy. We haven't really been going anywhere. Of course, we hit targets and we saw short-term trends, but in the bigger picture, up, down, up, down, up, down. So for today, with power speaking, might be. Could see some more seek and destroy. I mean, Asia consolidation, move to the upside, take Asia buy side. reverse, take Asia sell side, reverse, take London buy side, and the high of the day. So big range, seek and destroy. And big range, seek and destroy isn't really an issue because we tend to still get decent setups with enough time, like a real seek and destroy. Yesterday PM session, or yesterday's session, not really a textbook seek and destroy, but every time we take a low, we immediately move away from that without, on a 5-minute time frame, giving it much time. We take a low, immediately move away, take a low, push back up, take a low, push back up. Very narrow, without much time being spent at a specific low, other than the low of the week. Afterwards, we saw the 2022 setup once again during the PM session for the run to the upside. If we take a look at today, we have all the time in the world. We pump up, get our market structure shift, breaker block entry, we continue lower. Fair value gap entry right here or right here with a turtle soup, targeting Asia sell side. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. We put in some structure at the lows. That's the difference. We see our 2022 setup at the high and at the low. And for me, that's a good seek and destroy day. I capitalized on the bearish 2022 model at least for right now, high of the day and high of the week. No, not high of the week, but high of the day. Right here, short. And now on my paper trading account, the long 2022 model. But which one of these two is easier to catch? So if you're from America and you can't trade the London kill zone because it's in the middle of the night, well, then you don't have a choice. But if you have that choice, I think the higher probability one, just because we're not ahead of a news candle, 10 p.m. PMI, would have been this one up here. And also delivered, well, assuming you take an exit at the exact low. Let's say Asia sell side 10 points, 15 points. Can't complain about that. From our entry right here, 13 points, 10 points, healthy target for a 2-to-1. Would have been hit too. So the next 5-minute candle closed in this volume imbalance, holding support at this point of this on this bearish fair value gap. Let's check out this inversion fair value gap. I like this one more. Why? Because we used it once and twice to hold resistance, and so far it hasn't been inversed. So this is still a bearish fair value gap. We haven't closed above that yet. Once that happens, I think we're gonna take out the high of the day. We hit our London session breaker block up here. And now we are retracing into two confirmed inversion fair value gaps from our most recent move to the downside. With the midnight level and a bullish fair value gap. Let's see if we hold support in here. My stop loss would be below the data or the news candle for both of the contracts, really. "17 seconds before the candle is going to close. Let's see if we hold support, and ideally Also hold the midnight level here on the 5 minute. You can see NQ is still struggling to follow the bullish momentum on ES. The DXY is rejecting. So we close below the midnight and below the consequent encouragement of this bullish value gap right here. Just following order flow. So as long as we hold this bullish value gap here, we'd assume it to continue higher until we see the confirmation close below this area. That might not happen smoothly, and we might, this candle might close down here. It's 10:15, also a new 15-minute candle. That's just the, more volatility during the New York kill zone. That's why I like the London kill zone more, because if I'm wrong, I usually have enough time to exit before my safety stop loss is being hit, if you know what I mean. We've been talking about this earlier during the London live stream. You resetted it again. Joy of missing out. And by the way, for everyone that's watching on YouTube, I haven't disabled the discounts for the Black Friday sale, so I'm gonna do that this weekend. So tonight, basically, once the trading week is over. If you want to join us on our daily London session live streams in the morning, and non-delayed streams here on YouTube, they're all connected to my Joey A Bluetooth speaker. It works. That's the way. I'm sorry about that. I mean, I'm connected to my mic. I'm sitting right in front of it. I could talk a little bit louder, but I hope that still does the job. So if you want access to the ICT all-in-one indicator and all the other things that we do on our VIP Discord server, weekly outlooks, daily live streams, and you get to see my executions, market analysis, and like I said, the ICT all-in-one indicator, then feel free to use the Black Friday code special 50 for a 50% discount on the VIP membership. So today is basically, I said it yesterday too, but in the evening I was completely honest too lazy after the entire session to go back to my PC, and I was setting up the Ninja Trader trade copier with Apex, recorded another video of me using it for the first time, and then forgot / couldn't be bothered removing the discount. So today is going to be the last day until next year Black Friday. Okay, so we've been stopped out here now. We're still holding support on this bullish value gap right here. We didn't even wick below that. So let's take a look. So and with that recording now, just to prove a point of how easy it is to make yourself look more profitable, I could end a recording here and after the live stream start editing it. So like, hey, we catch this awesome PMI 2022 news model and we made $500 on that one. And you would never know that it is a paper trade execution. Not that it matters, but we all know it takes a lot more to actually execute on your funded account compared to a paper trading account. On a paper trading account, let's not do it on this freshly resetted challenge. Let's do it on this one right here. Can do stuff like, whoa, let's enter with 100 contract short. But you get the idea. We don't care if it's 38k or 25k. No, 1002, 2550. Misread that here. In drawdown or not. We don't care at all. But if that would be our funded account or our own money, well, the decision making would be much harder. And for me, prior to the news, just not worth it. Especially having made, I don't want to say so much profit, but decent profit, 8R this week. I can't call it a week without FOMO that I missed out on this trade. So we retested the breaker block. Right now we're basically caught between two breaker. So the London session breaker and the New York session breaker. London session breaker that we used for the short setup, and the New York session breaker that we used for the paper trade long. We're like, yeah, playing in between both. Funny. Here we have our fair value gap, bearish fair value gap inside the breaker. We touched it and rejected. And here we have our bullish fair value gap inside the breaker. We touched it and rejected. Let's take a look at EU. High of the week, rejection, buy side above. We mapped that out on the daily. NQ looking much, much, much weaker here. It would have been a tough session if you would be trading NQ. I mean, yeah. New York Open or news 40-point pump. If you maybe scalp the 1 minute time frame, yeah. But we didn't see clean structure. And sometimes that's exactly what I mean. So sometimes we see the clean structure during the London session on NQ. We sweep a session liquidity pool, breaker block, market structure shift, fair value gap, and we continue to run from there. And we don't see it on ES. And sometimes we see it on ES much cleaner than we see it on NQ. So you either like have your chart in a split screen mode and you are logged into your funded account or challenge and you pick between one of both to trade, or you simply just stick to one. And if you don't see the setup on the one that you chose, let's say it's NQ or it's ES, you just don't take the setup if it's not there. Or you trust that, yeah, ES is just strong enough that it doesn't have to take out Asia sell side right here, while NQ did. And you still, yeah, trust the NQ setup that that's going to work out and enter based on, well, a similar setup here on ES. Take out the high, close above, bullish share value gap, holding support on that highest up closing candle for the continuation higher. This morning I entered right here on this bullish volume imbalance, trying to see if the London Open momentum wants to continue right away, like right away. And so I got my fill right here on this 3:05 a.m. candle, continued into Asia buy side, ran 1.25. My stop loss used to be down here. And then I saw, okay, we hit Asia buy side. Really, all we did was range during Asia, so I'm not willing to risk anything on that, and I got stopped out at break even here because, yeah, once we sweep a high, especially just leaving behind a wick and another wick, even if we have a fair value gap here, just saw it too often that we completely negate that, especially directly at the open, and continue lower into, yeah, unswept Asia sell side liquidity. The floor was still dirty. That's why I like the 2022 model here at the high of the day so much. We had a nice expansion without a retracement. We displace, breaker block, bearish fair value gap, volume imbalance, short into that dirty floor. Needs to be swept. Let's check out the 1 minute time frame. Also not a pleasure to trade right now. 10:25, so 35 minutes until power is speaking. They might delay more movement until the next news event comes in. Stop out some shorts, and they have to buy it back. Market makers accumulating more short positions for the continuation move lower. Maybe. Let's check out live stream. You did the demo arc? It just got blown. That can happen. That's why I like to, even if I trade on my demo account and I take riskier entries, I still use the same amount of contracts or the same risk management approach that I use day in, day out on my funded account, so I can actually count it as practicing. And right here on that Apex 50k that I use for practice, we still made 250 bucks. More than my profit target, or more than I risk per, twice as much as I risk per trade. And that's something good. Actual practice. So right here, just from a order flow perspective, we had these inversion fair value gaps. We closed above with the news candle, rejected from this bearish fair value gap here, hit the breaker, and another bearish fair value gap above, rejected, leaving behind a new bearish inefficiency, closing below the midnight, 2 consecutive candles, disrespecting that first inversion fair value gap right here, and also this inversion fair value gap in here. Then we tap bearish fair value gap up here. Sorry, let me make it red here. Tap the bearish fair value gap and move away from that again. So now we're respecting bearish fair value gaps, not respecting the midnight level A, and B, the inversion fair value gaps to the left. Target equal lows as the next move further down. Even on a 1 minute time frame here. Trapped 4 more traders long and move away. Let's take a look at NQ. NQ already made a lower low, not far away from the previous day and previous week low. So this would really be the draw on liquidity, making a very bold claim here. Well, once Powell is speaking, previous day and previous week low, previous week Monday's low. To put it into perspective, the previous week's low on ES is 50 points away from current price. Maybe we hit that today. I don't think it's likely. Maybe the previous day's low. That's just 25 points away. With Powell speaking twice today, might be possible, but you get the idea. I wouldn't say since main TP was not hit. I'd call it the best case scenario take profit target. And not always we hit that best case scenario profit target. And especially seeing how weak NQ is right now. Powell speaking as always. So usually when Powell speaks during New York, I don't trade my funded account. Every time I do, I regret it because I'm aware that when Powell is speaking, might be at a college, might be a fireside chat, or FOMC news, whatever it is, Powell speaking usually messes up the market a little. Pre-Powell, we got a nice setup that played out, but that's not the case let's say out of 10 times. Yeah, I don't know, I would have to guess. Couldn't give you a back-tested answer to that. But now we're also close below this bullish fair value gap, another inversion fair value gap. We open with a bearish volume imbalance, it's 1030. Volume imbalance would have given it away for me. A little bit too late here, but next target, sell side. So yeah, we didn't hit the best case scenario TP, but we hit every other TP, like short-term buy side. No, trend line doesn't work here for a potential low resistance run, but we could, yeah, look at this like a low resistance run right here. News pump up, dump back down. So just because it didn't hit our best case scenario doesn't mean it has to go back up there from a liquidity perspective. London session high could remain as the high of the day. And at this point in time, even looking for a 1 minute bullish fair value gap, we had the long, we had the setup, we did it before. And now on the other side of the curve, so if we're looking at a fractal market maker buy and market maker sell model right here, well, what are we looking at? So right here on this buy side of the curve, we respect bullish PD arrays to the tick, breaker block. We cut through all the bullish fair value gaps, bearish fair value gaps right here. And now up here we had the switch. We start to not respect inversion fair value gaps from the left. Retrace, then we have this bullish fair value gap right here, from this candle's high to this candle's low. Initially we seem to be respecting it, but now we also have a bearish fair value gap inside of that. And those two inversion fair value gaps were, at this point in time, I would still be convinced we're bullish until I see the rejection of this bearish fair value gap here, close below our volume, our inversion fair value gaps, and also close below our 10 a.m. news bullish fair value gap right here. That confirms the change in state of delivery for me. And the next candle continues lower, closing below those two equal lows, below the bullish fair value gap. Bearish volume imbalance right here. So right now, until I see a decent sign that we might not continue lower, I mean, right now we're theoretically still respecting the 15-minute breaker, but for this short term, looking for a long entry zone here, wouldn't have done that. Now that we swept the equal lows and once again have potential SMT divergence within Q, because we didn't take out the low, wouldn't be looking for longs. Until I see decent confluence maybe on the 1 minute time frame. Had our lowest bullish fair value gap right here. We close below that and immediately reverse back up without taking sell side, getting a good rejection from here. So looking at the 5 minute time frame, if we close back above the breaker, that could be our first sign of strength. But keep in mind, power speaking in less than 30 minutes. Let's see how many people are watching on YouTube. Let's do a little fun giveaway. I'm only gonna count the entries right here in the chat. I'm gonna take a screenshot, and by the end of the day or tomorrow, I'm going to take a look at the closing price of the S&P 500 futures contract today. And whoever is the closest, I'm also participating because it's fun. You can also participate on Discord if you want. So basically guess the closing price of the Friday and the weekly candle. So the Friday daily candle, the same closing price as the weekly candle this week. And whoever's the closest to the actual closing price wins. I'm gonna take entries for the next 5 minutes. So if you're listening to this, type or share your guess. It's a guess. Don't make a rocket science out of it. Trust your gut feeling and just type it on your keyboard. So my guess is gonna be $4582.25. 4582.25. So right here at this high. That's gonna be the closing price for ES today. 4582.25. 4582.25. ES closing price. And of course, if whoever's the closest wins a free week of VIP membership on the Discord. You guys on Discord, you can of course also participate. Yeah, guess the closing price of ES. And whoever wins, I extend the membership by 1 week and add 10 free days to it, basically. I take a screenshot of both chats within the next 5 to 10 minutes. If someone can be... Okay, Anthony, Alexander. Exactly the same price. That's good. And that happened at the exact same time, so you two must be thinking alike. If that's your guess. Okay, almost. Almost the same. 7, 5, and 5. 1 tick away. So that's gonna be a very close one. You can still change it if you want to. If it's too close to the other one, and update it. But yeah, guys, let's do a little fun. Have a little fun here. 4, 5, 5, 5. Let's put it on my chart here. That's a good sign here. Still respecting the breaker block. Doing good damage. But still wouldn't be worth the risk to me. But the risk is subjective to every individual. So let me note down the closing prices. That would be September. We have an entry from H and Smith at 4555. Let's see. Then we have my guess at 4525, basically this high. Yeah. Is that correct? Perfect. Four, 5, 82.5. 25. Then we have Day Trader coming in at shorter than Danny DeVito. Let's go. Fade. Fadey, make sure to participate as well. Why not? 4586. Day Trader. 4, 5, 86. Anthony Doan, 4571.75. 4571.75. 4571.75. 4571.75. Put it on my different screen. Anthony Doan at 4571.75. And then another entry at 4571.5. From Alexander. Alexander at 4571.5. So just expected. 10:40 now. Still not much happening. Now it's only 19 minutes until Power is speaking for the first time. The DXY keeps on going higher and the EU continues to drop. Below the previous week's low, this red line, and below the previous day's low. Buy side targets for DXY right here and all these lines. 103.844 and 103.920. Just daily highs from the daily time frame. So based on the DXY going higher and higher and higher, we would assume indices going lower against the growing strength of the US dollar index. All right, TC 4546. Got the bearish pants on 4546. TC at 4546. Bottom, center. And E-man also at 4560. 4560. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 entries so far. So if you want to participate and compete for a 3-month of VIP membership, feel free to share your guess of where the ES1 is going to close today and for the week. I'm going to announce the winner tomorrow on Discord. So if you are watching on YouTube and you're not on Discord yet, make sure you are, and then we get things settled. All right, let me jump back into the Discord. 4577.25. Did I already note that? 4577.25. Did you change it? 4577.25. Then I'm gonna move you down here. 4577.25. My guess, that's at 4571. 4571.75. Top, no, bottom, and stupid 4571 and 75. That goes to the bottom. That goes to the top. Yes, it's pushing. Still holding off the breaker with NQ, still with the SMT divergence before taking out the previous day's low. Every time I see that, I just immediately think engineered liquidity. I think eventually we're gonna take out the sell side. We're not far away from it. That's only, even from price right now, 50 points, 70 points on NQ. That happens with a single news candle. So let's wait for power speaking. That's 14 more minutes. Guys, if you have any more questions about anything trading related, prop firms, the Apex trade copier, feel free to ask me in the chat. I won't be taking any more trades until news. Well, any more trades at all today. On my funded account at least. Still testing paper trading the 2022 model on US 30 CFD. Today, picture perfect opportunity. Sweeping low of day from 18 opening minutes. Could have worked with even a better drawdown when entering earlier. Yep. 2022 setup. New York kill zone. 8 AM. Swept the low of the day. Break in structure. Fair value gap. Exactly the same setup, but we ran up higher compared to ES. So what I would have liked to see is a sweep of this low and then that rejection. This would have given me more confidence that we might want to return back to the high of the day before news. Let's actually take a look at YM here. Haven't checked YM out in a while. Oh, yesterday was pretty bullish on what? So while yesterday we trended down from 830 basically on NQ even to the previous week's low and the low of the week, that's yesterday. Compare that to YM. Never made a lower low, so YM is bullish. Like, look at this entire week. Monday took the previous day's high from Friday. Tuesday took the previous day's high. Wednesday took the previous day's high. Thursday we just went bananas. But also, look at how nice we're getting these bounces off the VWAP every time. Then power hour, that last pump to the upside. Then here the 2022 model down low. Once again taking out the previous day's high. So YM has really been on a run here. While the other indices go down. So YM is about to be the first index. It's going to make a new high for the year 2023, if I'm not completely wrong. 2023. Yeah. 3rd of January. That's the high of the year 2023. Where's the high of the year 22? Right here. Previous year's high. Current yearly high. And we are a couple of points away from that. So that's actually a pretty cool liquidity pool to target with a potential bounce of the VWAP right here at 36,167. New high of the year. Crazy. And a 2022 setup into that. The first index that's taken, I wouldn't have thought that it's going to be YM. I really thought it's going to be NQ if we look at the daily. Hide the drawings here quickly. So that's a yearly high for NQ, coming in at 16,260 roughly. Let's round it up. So 16,250, something around that. Yearly high for NQ, and we rejected from that area after taking out this high, failing to go above it and then reject. For ES, so on ES we're still 100 points away from that. On NQ right now, 360 points. And on YM, well, from the high, 25 points. Let's go YM. Bull market. And from the high here on NQ, we rejected 50 points roughly before we took out that high. Interesting. Very interesting. Let's take a look at gold. Weekly expansion on gold. We still have those equal highs right here. Yeah. Now, well, not really equal. Similar highs. But also a very bullish week on gold. Daily. Even though the DXY went higher this entire week. Interesting. You would assume that if the dollar is gaining in strength again, that gold is losing in value. But that's just what some people would assume. Now EU. Don't look at that. I already got that open. So let's take a look at oil. That's gonna be the last one. What's the short for oil futures against CL? There we go. Yeah, very typical for oil. Once oil is running, it usually never doesn't come back. So if it's really about to drop, and drop is incoming, then it's not gonna stop. Mm, 2022 setup. This has been our week on gold. Very similar to what we saw in the indices, like Asia or Monday, little bits of a range, Tuesday expansion, Wednesday expansion, Thursday expansion, and then at 9:30 or 8:30 we had that dump, and Friday so far terrible. Like just looking at a 15-minute time frame here, narrow range, but trending. Yeah, tough to call this trending. So let's see. And no new entries on YouTube. Do we have another one on Discord? Until next week. Let me check that out here quickly. I can give you the answer to that. 1050, back inside the bearish share value gap. Next confirmation after the second consecutive close back above midnight would be the close above this bearish share value gap. 155. Let me check that out. 155, 155. The bullish at 155. Did I misread that? London Open 2022 model. You mean at 255? Just I entered right here on that volume imbalance. I explained that earlier. But for me, I didn't see that sweep of the Asia session low, or at least proper sell side. Know what I mean? Like we consolidate in here. This was a little drop, yes. But, well, I didn't see it as a sweep, at least when compared to NQ. If I look at NQ on the 5-minute time frame during the London session, this is what I'm looking for. And I'm done making compromises when I'm considering what I label as a 2022 setup here. Like that on, we hit that low and we displace away from that. Breaker block, bullish share value gap, long on ES. So if we compare the two of them, I think it's obvious. I only trade ES, so that's why I didn't take that bullish share value. I wouldn't call it a 2022 model, therefore the external liquidity sweep was missing for me. I looked for a long and an immediate breakout without the retest of a potential fair value gap. That's why I got stopped out at break even. But much cleaner here at the high towards the end of the New York kill zone. Higher high, higher low, higher high. We break structure. We have our bearish breaker block right here. We have a inversion fair value gap, the highest inversion fair value gap also right here. And we also had a volume imbalance coming from the high of the day right here. And also rejecting of a 1-hour bearish fair value gap right here. And the 5-minute bearish fair value gap after taking out buy side liquidity. That's really the 2022 model I'm looking for. This here, it's falling short of the actual liquidity sweep before for me to call it a 2022 setup. On NQ, no questions asked. Textbook setup on NQ during the London Open. Hope that makes sense. Yeah, that one I took on the stream right here. Everyone that just joined the YouTube live stream, if you want to participate in our giveaway for a free week of the VIP membership here with the accumulation zone, type in the chat your guess for the closing price on ES1 for the daily candle here on Friday. So guess the closing price. I'm not looking at the settlement price. I'm looking at the actual closing price. So if I go to the daily time frame tomorrow, I will have settlement turned off. I don't care about settlement. I have this turned off and I'm looking for the best guess for the closing price. So if you want to participate, low risk, high reward. As a trader, it would be hard to say no to that. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 entries so far. So if you want to participate, feel free to. Well, we have 7. RTY rocketing. Nice. So 1 more minute until Powell is speaking, or actually 20 seconds. So let's see what he has us up to. Take a last look at NQ here. But if you're really honest, if you didn't execute on your funnel account or your challenge or your live account, like with personal funds, would you feel like you missed out on anything by looking at this price action? I don't, to be honest. Maybe a little bit because of this clean 2022 setup, but ahead of news, not so much. So yeah, no. No regrets at all. I look at the London session, I like that, how it moved. But if I look at the New York session, yuck. No. At least on ES. On NQ even worse, if you ask me. The XY keeps on going higher. Power speaking, we already saw impact. Once again, reacting off this bearish fair value gap. Yep, it's best setup out there. Because your risk reward is usually very good. You get in at the potential high of the day or low of the day. Like right here, or at the London Open on NQ. Low of the day, right here. Daily opening at 6 p.m. New York local time. This used to be the low of the day. Then we swept it again. And then at the London Open, or 5 minutes before the London Open, we sweep it one last time. London opens up with bullish momentum to the upside. Market structure shift, breaker block, paired with a bullish value gap, textbook setup. And from the low of the day to the high of the day. Up here, let's see if we actually... So on NQ on the 5 minute then, we didn't hit the bearish fair value gap, and it would also be hard to call any of this a breaker block. We would only have the short-term low. We closed below that, but we never retested. So while the London Open 2022 model was clean on NQ, the London kill zone and 2022 model was much cleaner on ES here, because we already spoke about it a couple of times now. Market structure shift, retested the breaker block, volume imbalance, inversion fair value gap, and then continued lower. And if you didn't catch it here, well, opportunity was here to enter on that next bearish fair value gap, target the opposite, or yeah, sell side liquidity below. Oh yeah, that's power speaking. Good fun. But without taking any lows. NQ is now finally showing strength, leading with a bullish move. But remember that the New York session, the New York Open session, so stocks started trading, they're still inside our overnight range. Overnight high coming in at 444. Oh, okay. We wicked below the overnight low right here. That's where the 2022 setup came in. So this is our overnight range. But except for the couple of ticks that we've, or the couple of minutes, seconds we spent below that overnight low, for the rest of the entire New York session. So since here, we've spent majority of the time inside. The best days are usually where we start to keep on trending, instead of going back inside of into our overnight range. Let's wait for this 5 minute candle to close. Take a look at the 15. Ooh. like that, still sandwiched between the London session high breaker block and the New York session low breaker block, right in between. Alright guys, unless there are any more questions, I'm going to end the stream within the next couple of minutes. So I've been streaming since the New York Open. Now Power has spoken or is still participating in that fireside chat. And Paul is speaking again at 2 p.m. So yeah, during the PM session, we will see. I'm really curious who wins the free VIP membership, maybe even me. I've been pretty good at guessing it, even though I turned off my chart, like my candlesticks, and closed my eyes and paused somewhere, and that was my my guess, basically. But every time we've been doing this, like 3 out of 4 times I won. Oh, Shoes here. You didn't participate yet? Alright. Let me put you on my chart here. 4, 5, 8, 5. You sneaky one. Just to be above me. So if we're going above, it's always smart to be at the extremes instead of the middle. 4, 5, 8, 5. But it's okay. 4, 5, 8, 5. Shoo. Let's see. Shoes here. Now we have 8 bets. If you want to place a last minute bet, feel free to type your guess inside of the chat. And I will announce the winner tomorrow on Discord. Let's go. So let's take a last look at the DXY. The DXY took out the high of the week. This candle's high one more time and swept, rejected. Alright, I think I'm going to call it a weekend. I still like, so last closing thoughts, how we hold the midnight level here with the wicks to the downside. We're still playing around in this inversion fair value gap here to the left and this bearish fair value gap right here. If we see the close above, well, we could see higher prices, but right now, yeah, we're messing around at the 50% of our entire daily range. Eventually, I think we're gonna see a move either to the upside, high of day or low of day. But right now, all we have been doing is basically consolidating with huge wicks around our 50%. Basically coming in at the midnight level. Alright, that's all good. So in case you win, I'm going to let you know on Monday's live stream. AM8. I'm not sure what it stands for. If you want to also participate in the giveaway, feel free to guess ES closing price for today. And I put you down on the chart. If not, seeing that we don't get more questions, it's gonna be the end for me today. Did anyone engage and take any killer trades today? Still trusting the long? Well, I mean, if you would have played the long of our bullish value gap and stick to the rules of placing your stop maybe one tick at least this low or one tick below that, going back all the way to the high of the day or simply looking for the 2 to 1, we would theoretically still be in the trade. Because we haven't taken that 930 low yet. But, well, at least if you would have been watching that, it would have been nerve-wracking. Like, almost TP, almost stop. Whew. Okay, good. Oh shit, almost stop again. Okay, it's moving again to my TP. 4604.5. So let me put you down. 4604.5. 46. Okay. Nice. 4604.5. 4604.5. Hey. Above the high of the week. That would be nice if we see that. I would welcome that. So right now, just for a reference, the week opened. Where did it open? Right here. So at this point in time, let me use a horizontal ray here. Weekly open. That's our weekly opening price. Weekly candle is still bullish, and we push now again. Nice. So with all this nonsense inside, trying to follow order flow using fair value gaps, like said, with Powell speaking, not the best idea to do. That's why I end up getting chopped around, but simply by following the 2022 model, placing your stop at the low of the day, the low of our, our last manipulation move to the downside right here, would have been fine, and the high of the day would have been hit now. If we check out the 1 minute time frame, opportunity to get in on this bullish fair value gap. I would have preferred this wick to sweep this low, or maybe even this low, and then that bullish fair value gap as an entry. But like said, I had a killer week this week. Can't complain about that. The DXY rejecting again. Take a last look at NQ. NQ is now also pushing. SMT divergence right here at the low. Let's check out that 1 minute time frame. On NQ we actually we also didn't sweep that low, but also had a nice bullish fair value gap here, and there goes the high of the day. No, not yet, not yet, but we get the idea. I'm content. I didn't have the mental capacity anymore today to stay within this 2022 setup with my stop below here, with 10 a.m. news and 11 a.m. Powell speaking. And it's very typical to see this type of behavior if we see Powell speaking, instead of simply using the 2022 setup, continuing higher, like chopping around here, and then move back up. Typical for a Powell speech day. That's why I tend to avoid them, at least using the tape reading approach. That's what I'm doing on my 50k funded account, which has been working tremendously well over the lifetime of that 50k account. So next week I can likely request my payout, the first payout on this account, up for 0.7% almost, sitting at a 46% win rate. Well, I'd say it's only a 46% win rate because I'm quick to exit my trade, so I'm not holding on to trades at all. Like, for example, in this scenario, if I would have been tape reading this and I see the close below my entry fair value gap, I'm out. I don't want to get chopped around here. I do not wait for that 2 or maybe 1 or 2 out of 10 times where we invalidate the fair value gap, breaker block, stuff like that. And hold on to the trade, hoping it's not gonna hit sell side. That's not how I play this funded account. And if I would have entered on this, the PMI news candle would have already hit my 10-point target. And I would have avoided all this chop. But we're pushing up strongly. NQ is following nicely. And there goes the high of the day. Let's go. High of the week coming in at 4596. The highest 5-minute bearish fair value gap as potential resistance. Powell speaking again at 2 p.m. But yeah, I think I'm good to winning a 3-week worth of the VIP membership, the ASAT VIP membership. If I see more engagement in these giveaways, we can do more of them. And yeah, then I can be giving away a Apex funded account. If you got not funded a challenge, it's hard for me to sign up for a Apex challenge, fund it, and then give it to you, because that's all registered on my details. That wouldn't work with the payout process and all that stuff. I could only send you the money to pay for the challenge. But yeah, let's see how that goes. We're above the high of the day again, coming from the low of the day with a 2022 setup. Nice 2022 setup so far. Like overall today at the low and what used to be the high of the day. So let's see where S is going to close. High of the week and on a daily time frame. Let me hide all these drawings. High of the week, 29th of November. That would also be November monthly buy side theoretically. Contract switch coming in on Friday the 8th of December. The yearly high, we're not going to hit that today. Yeah, but maybe. Close with a nice bullish candle. DXY rejecting here. NQ didn't take out the high of the day yet. It's coming in at 1600. But yeah, I'm going to call it a trading week now. I'm happy with the profits I made. Couple $100 away from securing a payout or reaching the payout threshold with Apex. My equity curve has been on a ride. I mean, I started out strong and then I had a little bit of a rough time, I'd say. 550, $75 profit, and then 150, 275, 105. Still good risk management. I think I over traded on Friday, but I only ended up losing 105, so that's okay. Only gave away a couple of profits, and then this week I didn't trade on Thursday because it was Thanksgiving last week. $850 in profit, and this week we have only green profitable days. Let's go. All right, that's gonna wrap up the live streams for this week. I think we had a very nice trading week. So yeah, if you want to get access to the VIP membership, the special 50% discount will be disabled tonight or tomorrow morning, my time. So yeah, if you want to take me up on that offer, feel free to. The link for that is in the YouTube description box below. If not, make sure to enjoy your weekend. Take some time off to relax and recover. Fill up your mental capacity again. And yeah, I will be back next week on Monday. All right. So there we go. Yeah, thanks very much for joining in this week and being so active in the chat on YouTube and also here on Discord. I think, yeah, I really enjoyed this week. Even though, like in the bigger picture, all we did was consolidate. We were still able to catch decent moves. Like we got a 2022 model at the extremes on every day. Here at the low of the day on Tuesday, a 1 minute 2022 model right here, but we missed that unfortunately because it happened too quick. The high of the week, I took a long into that exact high and I got filled to the tick at 4597 right here with this 5-minute fair value gap for 5 points. And another 2022 setup here based on a 15-minute time frame. Displacement and we hit the breaker block right here to the tick. Even in London sessions were like, yeah, extremely good this week. So yeah, can't complain at all. So I'm grateful for that. I stream live during the London Kill Zone, usually 5 to 10 minutes before the London Open at 3 a.m. New York local time on Discord with the VIP members, and then I take a little break. I'm not streaming from London all the way into the close. That would be crazy. I take a break and then I start again for the New York live stream at the New York Open, like 10, sometimes 30 minutes before that. Out of the profitable trades that I took, what percentage of them were pre-New York? I will have to take a look in my journal, into my handwritten journal. I'd say, oh, maybe I can find that out on Bento Book as well. Daily PL hourly. And let's just look at a specific range. Now let's look at the entire lifetime of the account. So the most amount of profit. It's 17. So just by looking at the daily P&L, looking at the hourly, on average, I make the most profit at 5 p.m. 5 p.m. New York local time, I think that should be. Now, 5 p.m. my time. And that's 5 p.m. my time. What's the time now? 20 minutes past. Yeah, so at 11 a.m. So from 10 to 11 during the New York session, just by looking at this statistic, seems to be my most profitable hour of the entire day. And then after the London Open at 9 a.m. So yeah, it's a head-to-head race if we look at the entire lifetime of the account. But usually what I start to notice more and more if I look into my handwritten journal is that if I make good profit during London, like 250 bucks, 300 bucks, like for example yesterday, I'm not really willing to let that go during New York again. I prefer trading a different account and just saving that. Not willing to risk during New York because yeah, I already made profit, and yeah, I don't know, maybe that's just something in my head. I don't like giving that away again, going back to break even. And usually my stop loss is also much bigger during New York. So let's say I made 200 bucks profit, or like, yeah, my profit target 250 during London. Yeah, I don't know. Also depends on what kind of news we have during New York. So during London, we never have news, and that's why I like to trade London every day, because I don't have to worry about Powell speaking in 30 minutes or PMI news in 10 minutes before the, or yeah, PMI in 10 minutes right after the New York Open with the 2022 model. I don't have to worry about all that stuff. I simply follow price action. It makes it much, much, much easier for me. That's why I like it much more. But yeah, looking at the statistic. So from 3 to 4 a.m. and from 9 to 10 a.m. my most profitable hour. And that's actually interesting. I never looked at it that way. So I appreciate the question. And my worst hour of the day happens at 3 p.m. So that's basically from 15 until 16. Is it? Yeah, from 15 until 16. I think so, at least. Let's see. I have to ask the developer what, maybe check out TraderWay to get more information. Let me actually, I think that's really interesting. Pre-New York Open it would be. where I take most of the losses on that funded account. So let's log into my TraderVate terminal here and launch that. Time of day. At 16:30 is when I average my biggest losing trades, and 16:30 my time, that would be, that doesn't make sense. That's completely different to what I see on the other, on BentoBook. Well, I won't be streaming every day so maybe for the rest of the year I will stream every day on YouTube until those 66 days are over. But starting next year, I will only take like maybe 2, sometimes 3 live streams per week on YouTube. And then, yeah, keep the rest of the live streams private for the Discord community. But for now, yeah, definitely I get that. 16:30, $500 loss. That's the biggest loss. And then here at 9, that doesn't make sense. That goes completely against the information that I see here. Here it's 15 and that's 17. I will check that out. That's something interesting to look at over the weekend. I actually never looked at that. PO history, cumulative without fees. So at 4:30, that would be 10:30 New York local time. I tend to lose the most amount of money, and then at 9:30, so 30 minutes after the London Open in New York local time, that's when I tend to lose most amount. And then at 10 a.m., so post London kill zone, no, from 4 to 5 a.m. New York local time, I make the most. Then again from at 7 p.m. I don't trade at 7 p.m. Something doesn't make sense here. But anyway, holiday week. Where are we at? Alright guys, take a last look at ES here. As long as we're respecting bullish share value gaps, no reason to think that we won't continue higher. NQ didn't reach the high of the day yet, so there might still be more potential, more room to the upside. Alright, I'm gonna head off now. Thanks very much for joining in today. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Feel free to share some feedback with me if you want in the comments below or on Discord. That's the only way that I can improve. And yeah, until next week, enjoy the weekend and have a great rest of the day. Bye.